although this challenge is listed as advanced, I don't actually think it's too intimidating. So what we have here is a list of all the participants. So we have their sport, and then we can see concatenated together we have the ID, the name, and the team, or the country, however you want to say that. So first of all, we need to split all those up so we can see they're separated by stars. So we put that into our delimiter here to do the star. And when that comes out, it looks like this. So our ID, name, and country. I'm just going to scroll down here and show you one of the other problems that I saw. Even though it doesn't really matter, I like to clean things up as much as I can. So if I can scroll down there a little bit more, you might have seen it. There we go. For example, here we have some countries that have a dash and then a number after them. So I also just wanted to clean that up as well. So using another text columns tool just to do this, the dash and do 2 more columns, and then just tidy that up and rename that. So that we have our sport, ID, name, and country. Okay, and then if we take a look at our other data set, then this is the details all in one field, unhelpfully. So we've just got the ID, it's kind of like a row ID, and then we've got the Olympic ID, the year, the season, and the country, and then the middle. So again, I did a couple of text columns here. So I just did 5 initially, because can you see down here that we've got Los Angeles? If we were separating out by a space each time, then Los Angeles would end up in the loss would be the only thing in column number 5. We want Los Angeles both to be there. So then I just did a separate text columns for that last bit there, so that we have our city and medals in separate columns there. I mean, I could have used some regex to make this a bit more simple, not have to use as many tools, but for where my brain was at today, I thought, let's just do it this way. It's easier than thinking about how to write the regex. So then I just stuck those 3 columns back together, the 3, the 4, and the 5 one, just so that I get the year, season, and the country, or sorry, the city, all in one field. And then just do a little bit of renaming and dropping unnecessary columns. Then we need to, this is where the complicated part came. I had to download the solution to understand what it was that they were asking for here. So when we use our join tool to join these 2 datasets together, we're going to join by record possession rather than by specific fields. Why are we doing that? So if we come back to this one here, for example, the participants dataset, and look at the first 3 rows, we can see that we have the name repeated across 3 rows there. And they're all for the same sport. So I imagine that this particular athlete took part in 3 different swimming events, but we don't have the event breakdown. So what we need to do is we need to sort this data set by the Olympic ID as well, so that then we can tell in which of those events did this athlete win a medal. And it's only for the top one. She didn't win medals for the other 2. So maybe I didn't read the challenge clearly enough, but to me that wasn't clear. So we need to join by record position after having sorted it, and we need to make sure that we don't use dictionary order when we're sorting. So that means that it's going to ignore sort of the low numbers, and it's going to just go based on the 1 being in there. Okay, so we join those all together by record position, which isn't something I do very often in the join tool. And then it's just about making those charts. So again, I have queries about this method where we're grouping by the games, and then we're just doing a count of the athlete rather than a count distinct. Is it fair to count an athlete multiple times because they've been in multiple events? That's apparently what this challenge is asking for. So fair enough. This is the chart that we're trying to build. I'll show you the interactive chart tool in a minute. So we've just got a link, women athletes participation in Olympic Games from 1900 to 1936, and we've just got the game title and the bar chart there. Okay, so the few bits that we had to do to configure this chart, let's look at that. We obviously added in a layer. We changed the orientation of the bar chart once we've selected bar. On our x-axis is the count, and on our y-axis is the games field. And then in the oh, it's not, it is in the layer. First of all, we can go and change the color. So I just went with one that was kind of similar to the output there. In the legend, we want to just go and hide that legend because there's no use in showing a legend in this example. In our chart itself, that's where we can add on the title down at the bottom here. So just typed that in, made it bold. And then I think that in the axes we had to go in, for example, for the y-axis, turn off the games, because there was the word games kind of going across here. We don't really need that to be there. And in terms of, we needed to give it enough space to be able to be seen. Let me find out where that was. I think that's in the chart itself. Yes, that's where it is. So margins and padding, we just need to increase the margin of from the left-hand side so that it includes all of the long games title. Okay, and then I think that's everything you had to do in that chart. Next up, we were looking at just those who won medals, so we were filtering this to exclude all the NA medals. So if the medals category was NA, we're excluding them, we're only keeping gold, silver, bronze. And we're wanting to number these, so gold is number 1, silver is number 2, and bronze is number 3. So I just used a find and replace tool with a text input there with the title of winner. As looking at the output, that was a field there, so that's what I figured I should do. And then we sort this before we put it into a table. So we sort by the games, then we sort by the sport, and then we sort by the winner. And when we make our table here, we just need to do some rearranging of fields. So for example, we can click on a column and we can move it up or down. And the only other thing that I did here was go into the table settings and make sure that my top background color was this blue color and the alternate color was white, so that we get that row banding effect going on. And this is how that turned out. Ooh, I've just realized I've also got an ID field coming through. This is what happens when you play around a little bit with your data. I just need to take that ID out, run that through, and then I think that we should be all good. Yeah, I think that that's in the same order as it was in the output here. Okay, so hopefully that was a useful walkthrough, and thank you very much for watching.